Okay.
Hi everyone, this is Lavi Sharma. Let me tell you a little bit about myself before we start. So I have been working in IT industry for over 20 years and I am a certified life coach, NLP practitioner and a pranic healer. I'm passionate about exploring human potential and my mission is to inspire a world where everyone lives their full potential, creating holistic growth for themselves in a joyful and loving way. So, we have been talking a lot about the power of thoughts and all that, right? Today, we will look at automatic negative thoughts along with our guest, Savita SR. So, first of all, I would want to welcome Savita here. And Savita SR is cognitive fitness coach from Bangalore. She's a certified licensed brain trainer from MN University, US, Indian mind and memory athlete, ex IT professional. So, Savita, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? And also, I see you are a cognitive fitness coach. So, before we get right into the topic, what is cognitive fitness and why is it important for
Hi,
us?
Lavi. Thank you for having me on this conversation. Hi, everyone. I'm Savita, a cognitive fitness coach. I'm from Bangalore. Okay, so to share a little bit about what is this cognitive fitness all about, right? I will just start with a simple analogy. We have a most powerful organ with us. Okay, that's the smartest organ. I mean, most powerful is. I mean, of course, all the organs are very important, but I would consider this is more because it's a very powerful organ. Okay, because of that organ, we are successful, we are broke, we are kind of, depressed, we are, we face failures and we go through a lot of things. Okay, so I'm
Yeah.
sure that you would be able to guess that. So that's our kind of brain. Okay, so simple analogy would be, so our brain is like a hardware and our mind is like a software. While
Mm.
we are trying to address a lot of issues, from the different practices about our mind perspective, it is also important to take care of our brain as well, Lavi. Okay,
Yeah.
because these two go hand in hand. Because of that, we go through, I mean, the beat with respect to the productivity or the burnout or work life balance, or even to reach the flow state or become a
Yeah.
peak performance, right? Or
Yeah.
even go through negative thoughts and stress and anxiety, depression. So a lot of things are associated with this brain and mind, Lavi. Okay, so
Mm.
this is all about the cognitive fitness. Okay, how do we really take care of our brain and mind and all the cognitive functions? Because
Yeah.
we work in a cognitive world, right? And be it IT, be it your educational institutions, wherever we are leveraging our cognitive asset, it is really important to take care of it. Okay, so that's all about the cognitive fitness. So otherwise, little bit about me. Basically, I'm an engineer. I worked in IT for 19 years. After that, I realized, okay, I would want to pursue my passion. Okay, so that's when currently I'm pursuing my passion of becoming cognitive fitness coach. I would want to
Okay.
help the working professionals. How do they really take care of their cognitive health? Okay, and
Mhm.
also I'm doing my master's in psychology. I'm in second year. I'm doing advanced positive psychology with the counseling as my elective, Lavi.
Yeah.
Because by taking care of this cognitive health, right? So we can also offset the cognitive related issues, be it dementia, Parkinson's, and Alzheimer's. So there are a lot of complicated stuff. Okay, so and moreover, even according to WHO, so every fourth or fifth person is suffering with the neuro issues. We
Mm.
might not know, I mean, we might not, I mean, we might be aware, we might not be aware, but because of the social stigma, we don't even reach out to the help.
Yeah.
So
Right.
hence I made it a point, why don't we take care of ourselves? It's more of a proactive measure, right? So that
Mm.
we don't really end up into the soup in the later years. So
Yeah.
that's my mission, Lavi. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great, Savita. And also, it's need of the hour, like how much of stress and everything is there. And we talk about fitness, right? There are all kind of fitness. So when you say cognitive fitness, there is less stigma. I hope will
Yes,
be
yes,
around it
Lavi. Yeah.
because we need
Yes.
physical fitness, we need mental fitness, we need emotional fitness, and all that. And
And
good
they're all
analogy.
interlinked, Lavi, okay? And
Yeah,
also, since we both worked in IT, right? And this would
yeah,
be, I think we are very pro at, project management, program management, resource management,
yeah,
financial management. Simply
yeah,
put, My focus is cognitive fitness is all about mind management. Okay, so that's the
Right. Mind management. That's great. Yeah, and nicely you distinguished brain and mind, right? Very often we just mix them all both together, right? So one is hardware and software. So yeah, so let's get into today's topic of conversation, which is a very interesting one because almost all of us are affected by these automatic negative thoughts, right, on a daily basis. So, what do you think? These are, let's talk about that cognitive fitness and negative thinking. How are they related?
Okay, so to harness our true potential, Avi, just simply put, how best are we doing, be it with our career or be it with our life or relations, how best are we doing? Okay, so if you look
Mm.
at it, right, and the negative thinking, it is actually impacting us very badly. Okay,
Yeah.
because our thoughts, drives us towards action, and actions become our habits, and then they become our belief system, and simply they
Mm.
become part of our life, right?
Yeah.
And it is important to address these negative thoughts. Okay, so if you really want to double your productivity or triple, or if you want to become a peak performer, and you should not be really kind of get impacted by these negative thoughts. So hence it is really important to address these negative thoughts. So these two
Mm.
are closely associated, Lavi, cognitive fitness and then negative thoughts, because these thoughts will become a kind of small reels, and they keep playing out in our head. Okay, so all the time,
Mm.
and they
Yes.
impact us badly. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and repetitive thoughts only get converted to beliefs, like you said, and almost all of us are impacted by those limiting beliefs which stop us from doing things. But like you said, and these are so automatic and they just come on so regular basis. Do you think these negative thoughts are actually bad?
It is our natural tendency to think negatively, Lavi. Okay, so that's how we are
Mm.
designed. But even
Yeah.
if you see historically, or if you look at our human evolution perspective, right,
Yeah.
actually these negative thoughts were not so bad. Okay, so because we went through famine, diseases, natural
Mm.
disasters, and pandemics, and predators, and lot of enemies, right? So
Yeah.
these negative thoughts actually kind of were advantageous to us. Okay,
Advantages.
and
Yes.
they kept us safe, they kept us prepared, to face or protect ourselves from anything
Yeah.
that harms or kills us, right?
Right.
um,
Right.
but we are no more cavemen, we are no
Mm.
more kind of wanderers, we are not really hunting or living in the forest, Ravi. Okay, we are
Yeah.
living in the most sophisticated, with all the safe
Safety,
and secure
security. Yes.
environment. I don't
Yeah.
think we have those threats as such, right?
Mm.
And moreover, we are living in an instant gratification era. Okay, so
Yeah.
and so I don't think these negative thoughts are no we really need them to this level, right?
Mm.
So I think it is not really serving us, if you ask.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. So I would say it this way, something which was helping us to survive is
Hmm.
now stopping us to thrive,
Yes,
isn't
yes,
it?
yes,
Because
Lavi. Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, yeah, it was necessary for survival. And, I also speak about fear. So
Hmm.
there is some fear which is real. Okay. It saves you.
Hmm.
But then a few fear is like, which is not required in today's world.
Yes,
Right.
Lavi.
So yeah, makes sense. And then why do we call them automatic? We all have negative thoughts, right?
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
why do you say they are automatic negative thoughts?
Because they arise automatically, right? It could be based on our past, or maybe experiences, or fears, or self doubts, or because they're very involuntary, and they have become very habitual.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Because once
mhm,
they come, they don't go, Lovey. Okay, so they
yeah,
become a small reels, or mini cassettes, and they keep playing
mm,
out. Okay, and each time we kind of face certain scenarios, or people, or situation, right? They just come back alive, and they take so takes over
yeah,
us, right?
yeah,
And
yeah,
they disturb us in a very kind of in a bigger way. So and moreover, on an average we get thousands of thoughts, Lavi. I mean, there is
mm,
still a debate going on, is it 50,000 thoughts per day or
yes,
70,000? Leaving
yeah,
all those thousands apart, even if we get hundreds of them, right? So most of these thoughts would be could be constructive or destructive or critical or creative. It could be related to our past or future or present, or it could be conscious, voluntary, involuntary, and there are negative or positive. There are many types
mm,
of thoughts that we get through, right?
yes,
And closely, if you observe, Lavi, Most of them, most of them are repetitive thoughts.
Repetitive.
What
Yes.
if these most of the repetitive thoughts are negative? Can you
Mm.
just imagine how are they gonna impact,
Impact.
our way of thinking or our decisions or confidence or self-esteem, or more importantly, our aspirations and happiness and peace of mind,
Yeah.
right? So it is not that all thoughts are kind of true. If you closely observe, right? Most of
Mm.
the thoughts are not true. Okay. But the unquestioned or uninvestigated thoughts, right? They lie us a lot.
Yes.
That makes us sad, mad, and become very nervous, go out of control, and get into stress and anxiety and all other
Yeah.
complications, Navi.
Yeah.
So because again, to reiterate, because our thoughts, drives us towards our action, and our actions becomes our habits, and they become our behavior,
Yeah.
and they become our belief system, and become part
Mm.
of the way
Yeah.
that we operate and live, and right. So hence, it is really important to address these automatic
Mm.
negative thoughts. Yeah.
Yeah, right. And like you said, right? And if it is repeat, unquestioned, uninvestigated, and that too, those which are continuously, repeatedly coming, and
Mhm.
still we are not questioning them and just accepting them as they are.
Yeah.
And they create anxiety, this nervous breakdowns, and all these stress issues, which is very common in today's world.
Mm.
So clearly, these negative thoughts impact our mind, right? Do you think they also impact our body?
Okay, yeah, of course, yeah. So
Yeah.
let's do an experiment. Okay, I mean, I know it is on the fly, so but are you game if you want to try out a thing, while we are doing this conversation?
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's do an experiment. Okay, so what I want you to, this is a scenario. I think
Mhm.
most of the working professionals will be able to relate to this, and because most of them go through this. So imagine that you have had your one-on-one with your manager. Okay, so
Mm.
it could be quarterly or it could be your annual appraisal or whatever. You consider any situation, right? And
Mm.
imagine you have come out of the room and things have not really gone well. Okay, and these are the 4 or 5 lines I'm going to tell you. I want you to experience them, and express yourself. Okay.
Mhm.
So these are the 4 lines. Okay. So today is such a bad day. Nothing is going right. I couldn't finish a thing. I'm such a loser. That's why I'm not growing. Okay.
Mm.
So I'll repeat it. Today is such a bad day. Nothing is going right. I couldn't finish a thing. I'm such a loser. That's why I'm not growing. You can
Mm.
express it in your own words. Okay. Yeah. But this is
Mhm.
the scenario. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, today is such a bad day, and I couldn't finish a thing. I'm such a loser, and that's why I'm not growing.
Okay. So did you experience anything while saying these words? Could
Yeah,
be in,
honestly, even before I started saying, when you were asking me to say these, I was wondering, why are you not asking me to say some positive words? Because
yes,
I was
correct.
feeling so much of resistance saying these words, and
Yeah.
I was actually feeling, yeah, low in my body, and I could feel that,
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was like, what do you say, defensive. My shoulders were like this, and all that. Yeah.
See, so these negative lines, I mean, these are just like made up 4 or 5 lines, right? Just
Yeah, yeah,
repeating
yeah,
them, how they impact us, right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
there are a lot of, it impacts on our body, okay? So on our
Mm,
brain and body, and as well as all our emotions, okay?
yeah.
So even I would encourage all the viewers, if you're watching these conversations, I would want you to do this experiment, okay? Stand in front of the mirror or
Mm,
record it, okay? Record this, and then narrate these 4 or 5 lines, okay?
mm,
Observe yourself, what changes happens
yeah,
within your face and within your body, and how do you really feel, right?
yeah.
So let me just take a one step back and explain what exactly happens, Lavi, okay? Whenever we go through this negative zone, right, or if it could be stress, or and what happens is, we have a different functions in our in our brain. Okay, so there are different
Mm,
centers who takes care of different functions, Lavi. So
mm,
amygdala is a center, kind of which process our fear and then threat. Okay, so
yeah.
whenever we get into this stress or negative thinking, right, it gets triggered. Okay, so
Mm,
it signals, we are in a fight or flight mode. Okay,
yeah.
and sympathetic nervous system becomes activated, and
Mm,
that's when our kind of heartbeat increases, and breathing increases and becomes very shallow, and
yeah.
even muscles become very tensed. And then if you see, whenever we are tense, right, so even our hands start sweating. Okay.
Mm.
And because the and we also have a prefrontal cortex. Okay, so that's a
Mm.
center for all our logical thinking, rational, and taking right decisions, considering all the things, planning, etc. Okay, so whenever we are in a fight or flight mode, the entire blood flow kind of shifts from prefrontal cortex to the amygdala. Okay,
Mm.
so that's when all these bodily changes happens,
Yeah.
Lavi. So
Yeah.
it is and whenever we are in the fight or flight mode, whatever the decisions that we take might not be all the time right.
Mm.
So yeah.
Yeah, that makes complete sense because I'm also able to relate it with how our energy works. I also speak a lot about energy.
Mm,
So sometimes, when something sounds interesting to us, or so we think that, yeah,
mm,
this is interesting topic, this is going to be fun, then
yeah.
our energy, body, physical energy also rises. And
Mm,
otherwise, at the end of the day, we feel so tired.
mm.
If something interesting comes up, we are suddenly energetic to do that. So
Right.
yeah.
So hence these words and thoughts have a lot of power, Lavi.
Mm,
Okay, so
yeah.
yeah, it impacts us at all levels.
Mm, okay. So, but for these thoughts, automatic negative thoughts, are there any types?
Oh, there are plenty of them, Lavi.
Okay.
Maybe I will talk about couple of them. So one is all or nothing. I mean, just to give example, right? So
Mm,
all who are on the Facebook and Instagram who are posting nice pictures and vacation and post and all, right? They might
yeah.
be having a better life than me. Okay, so that
Mm,
is one negative thought I think which affects most of us globally, I would say. Okay, and the second one is like always thinking. I mean, we use the words like always and never, no one
yeah.
likes me, no one loves me, or
Yeah.
everyone and everything, So these are the always thinking kind of, negative thoughts. And,
Yeah.
mind reading. Okay. So, reading the mind. Say, example, if you're doing a presentation in your boardroom or to your leaders, right? And if your boss, a manager looks kind of little bored,
Mm,
we kind of read their mind. Oh, okay. So my boss looked kind of bored, so my
yeah.
appraisal is gone, right?
Mm,
And then could be guilt baiting. Oh, I must stay back over this weekend. I must complete. I should complete. And we
yeah.
use these compulsive words. Okay. So if you
Yeah.
observe carefully, Lavi, so like I must and I should and I have to, just I want you to kind of use these words. Okay. Just repeat
Yeah.
I must. I must, I have to, I should. Can you just repeat these three words?
Yeah. I must, I have to, I should.
Okay, now I want you to repeat these words as well. I want to, I
Mm,
like to, I
mm,
choose to, I
yeah.
love to. Okay,
Yeah.
can you repeat these words as
Yeah. I want to, I love to, I choose to.
yeah? Can you
Yeah.
just see, the difference between these
Yes.
two words usage itself, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
one,
Power lies there,
yeah,
actually, right?
yeah,
There is power. Yeah.
these
Mm,
must and have to, they becomes very compulsive, okay, and
right.
they drive us badly, okay.
Yeah.
It is a guilt baiting, so there are also labeling, because of you I failed, because of you
Right.
this project failed, right?
Right. Right.
And if only, so this is another scenario most of
If
us
only.
do.
Yeah.
If only I get promoted, okay, then I know
Mm,
I do all the things that I really want to do. Or if only, I could do this, if only if I get this, right? So there are many different kinds of negative thoughts, Lavi, but these are the major ones. Okay, so
mm,
first thing first is becoming aware of what are the negative thoughts that we are kind of
mm.
getting impacted, right? And
Yeah.
which are more repetitive in the nature.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. No, I totally relate this NLP thing I told you, right? I'm also an NLP practitioner and do my coaching using NLP techniques. So there
Okay.
also NLP is like what neuro-linguistic programming. So linguistic, how the language we speak now is really important. There are in NLP frames also we have this,
Mm,
and we have a concept which is like about how we process signal from outside. Like
mm,
you said, right? We are so much generalizing, deleting, distorting the
yeah.
stuff instead of taking them as it is. Earlier, you also mentioned we are not questioning anything, not investigating. I'm
Mm,
just relating all this, and we are generalizing stuff. Oh, I'm always like that. Nobody loves me, and
yes.
all that, right? So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's great. And but okay, got it on the automatic negative thoughts, and there are different types of them. But how do we address them now? Now let
Mm.
us get to some practical solutions that we can practice.
Sure,
easily.
Navi. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I would kind of share two scenarios. Okay. So since it is a general conversation, I would share these two. These are the proven, techniques which has worked for many. Okay.
Mhm.
And these are the two generic ones. But if you come to my kind of program and coaching, and I would, kind of the students would go through based on, what are the kinds of negative thoughts that they're going through. I mean, the respective techniques that I work with them. Okay.
Mhm.
So the first scenario, okay, say suppose you are in the middle of a very, fiery fighting, okay, or a
Mhm.
deep argument, or
Yeah.
you're, you are in a middle of a, something very kind of, a fear, fiery situation.
Mhm.
You are completely in a reactive mode or negative mode, okay, or a blaming or defending mode. Okay, so this is one scenario that we go through day in, day out. Okay, so be it in with our careers, or be it with our personal life, or be it with our family, right? So this is one scenario that affects us most of the time. And even if you're going through that scenario, I want you to just take time off. It could be just
Mhm.
1 or 2 minutes, Lavi. So
Yeah.
you could just say, okay, so can I take 1 minute? Okay, so I would want to
Yeah.
use the restroom, or I would want to drink some water and come back. So
Mhm.
nobody in the world would say, you just finish
Yes.
fighting or argument and then go for it, right? So it's not that I want you to go use the restroom. So it's that I want you to buy that 1 or 2 minutes time. Take the time off. Okay. What I want you to do is take couple of deep breaths. I want you to do a
Mhm.
diaphragmatic breathing. So this is
Yeah.
one very powerful technique which helps us to kind of move from fight or flight mode to rest and digest.
Right.
Ravi, okay.
Mhm.
So by this is a very simple one. Okay, so let's do it. Okay, so it's like it requires couple of steps. So first thing first is, we have two hands. I mean, you could do it, sitting and, lying down or standing. Okay. So based on whichever situation that you are in, right?
Mhm.
So all you got to do is just hold one hand on your chest, hold
Mhm.
another hand on your belly. Okay.
Mhm.
So and then whenever we breathe, okay, this is another breathing technique we have got all got it wrong, Lavi. We
Yeah.
breathe most of the time, we breathe through our chest, okay.
Yes.
But ideally, we should breathe through our tummy. Okay, so here, okay, so diaphragmatic breathing, sit or stand or lie down, and keep one hand on your chest, the other one on your tummy. Take a deep breath. Okay, so take a deep breath for 4 seconds, and when you take a breath, your tummy should come front. Okay, so take a deep breath for 4 seconds, and then hold it for 2 seconds, and then slowly release it for 6 seconds, slowly through your mouth. Okay, so we
Yeah.
are breathing in through our nose and
Nose.
holding it for 2 seconds and leaving it through mouth for 6 seconds. And after
Mm.
that, hold it for 2 seconds. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's all.
Yeah.
And take a deep breath, hold it, leave it through your mouth, and hold it. Okay, so do this couple of times. Okay, it could
Mm.
be as long as that you're taken the time off, right? So
Yeah.
what happens is the entire amygdala, the focus moves from amygdala to the prefrontal cortex by
Mm.
deep breathing, right? Because we
Okay.
have enough oxygen flowing to our prefrontal cortex and it becomes triggered. Okay, so
Mm.
parasympathetic nervous system will get activated, and then we will be in a we'll start thinking in a more rational, pragmatic, and in a kind of much calmer way about how do we really deal with the situation that we are going through, right?
Yeah.
So by doing this, we are not going to harm others, we are not going to harm ourselves, we are not going to kind of break our relations with others as well. Okay, so
Mm.
this is one important technique.
Yeah.
So the second one is, right, whenever we are calm and composed, still we are going through a lot of negative thoughts, right? I want even the audience to write down what are the 2 or 3 negative thoughts which are more repetitively that you are facing and that are really
Mm.
impacting you. So sit in a silence, identify a couple of them, write them down. Okay, I want you to challenge those negative thoughts. How do we challenge? There are 5 questions. Okay, so
Mm.
the first question is, write the thought, and then, okay, so is this thought true?
True.
Okay. And
Mm.
second one is this thought really 100% absolutely true?
Mm.
Right? And then third one is, how do you feel when you have this thought?
Mm.
Okay. And the fourth one is, how do you feel if you didn't have this thought? Who would you be without this thought, right? And then the fifth one would be, turn that entire thought around. Can you construct a more positive and kinder, more, kind of accurate thought instead of the
Yeah.
false thought, right? And
Yes,
then after
yes.
that, you see what is that happening here while, by, kind of questioning these thoughts, Lavi, because as I told you, most of the negative thoughts are not always true, right?
True.
Many of them
Yes.
are like, they lie to us, right?
Yeah.
So we simply believe them. So here we are kind of questioning very systematically, okay?
Mm.
Say example, maybe just to, kind of work out, right? So I'm not good enough, or I'm not worthy enough. I think these are the common negative thoughts
Common
that are
ones, yeah.
impacting globally most of us, right? Without,
Yes.
if you take any kind of segment for that matter, so
Yeah.
most of the people, we struggle with this. Okay, I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy enough. I can't do this because I
Mm.
don't know. And I always mess things up. I'm such a failure. Such a loser. I don't deserve this success.
Mm.
Nobody loves me. Nobody cares for me, right? I can't be successful, and it's not for me. And I'm the worst. So there are so many thoughts. We just keep repeating them. Okay.
Mm.
So here, by systematically kind of probing these questions, right, we are
Yeah.
telling our mind or brain, see, this
Mm.
is not really true. Just to take
Yeah.
example, right? I'm
Yeah.
not good enough, or I'm not worthy enough, right? So if I ask this question, okay, is it really true? I mean, my first answer would be yes, yes, yes. Okay. If I ask, is it absolutely true? Okay. So then, okay, do I have any evidences that it is not true? Maybe I should
Mm.
kind of look up, look into my career. What have I done? What have I studied? Or have I done something good, right? So far.
Mm.
Do I have a family that cares for me, that loves for me? Of course,
Yeah.
I do. If I go back to the second question, right, I have so many evidences that is not really true, right?
Mm.
And how do I feel when I'm going through, when I'm having this thought, right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel, what do you feel, Lavi, when you have such thoughts that I'm not good enough, or I'm not worthy
Yes.
enough, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Feel so low and not empowered or not inspired to do anything, take
Yeah, we
any
feel
action.
stuck, right? We
Yeah,
feel stuck, and then
that,
we are not moving, we have not done anything. So that's the mode
yeah,
that we are in.
yeah.
What if, if you don't have this thought, who would
Mm.
you be without these thoughts?
Without these thoughts,
Yeah,
yeah.
we feel so empowered. Okay, oh, I
Mm.
have a beautiful family that loves me. I have a career. I have, kind of, have a place to stay, and I have 3 meals a day, and I have all the comforts in the world, right?
Yeah,
So I am good enough. Okay, I'm worthy enough to kind of pursue whatever that I'm currently doing, right? So, and then, how do I change this entire thing? I am worthy enough. I'm good enough, right?
yeah,
So this is how that you challenging those negative thoughts. Really, we can address a lot of lying negative thoughts. Okay.
yeah, right.
Yeah. So
And most of them are lying, I believe,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
actually, this is very simple. Let me just repeat these five questions. So, is it true? Is
Yes.
it 100% true?
Yeah.
How does this make you feel when you
Yeah.
have this thought?
Yeah.
And how would you be without this thought? And
Yeah.
then replacing it with a more empowering, accurate thought, right?
Yes.
Replacing this with that.
Yes, Lavi.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah, and also just to address, this is all linked, Lavi. Okay. So,
Mm.
while most of us, right, I'm a big on affirmations. Okay. So,
Yeah.
while we are holding on to these negative thoughts so, kind of badly, if we just write, okay, a new affirmation,
Yeah.
right? But you also have to address this negative thought that you're holding on to in the first place. You have to let it go, right? And
Mm.
then you can replace with the positive or affirmative.
Yes, and in fact, asking these questions helps you to let it go because now
Yes,
you are rationalizing it, right?
yes,
Yeah,
yes, yeah.
yeah,
And this is one of the reason why affirmation doesn't work for some of the people. Okay, because if
yes,
you're holding
because
on to
it's
your,
still there, right? Yeah,
yeah, because our mind gets kind of confused. You have two
confused. Yeah,
contradictory thoughts. Okay, which one do
yes,
I choose? We
yeah.
always go with what we are comfortable, right? And the brain
Mhm.
has even enough evidences. Okay, so yeah, so this is the negative thought which has served all these years, and I'm comfortable. Okay, why are you bringing a new one which I
Yeah,
don't even associate with, right?
yeah, and it just get added there instead
Yes.
of getting replaced,
Yes,
right? Yeah.
yes, yes, Lavi. So it's more that we have to work with our mind. Okay, so yeah, this is not serving me, and I'm
Um,
gonna let it go. And this is
mm,
a new thought that I'm kind of introducing, so that
yeah,
that helps me. So it is kind of all connected, Lavi. And because I'm I'm very passionate or passionate about science and art both. Okay, so so that we can kind of, how does this affirmation work?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that's what that I'm kind of trying to figure out through psychology.
In fact, affirmations is both art and science. Even I
Yes,
talk a lot about affirmations. It's both science and then art.
yes,
That's true.
yeah,
Yeah. So that's great. So yeah, very great tips. First one is like, in my words, if I say no, I say gap between stimulus and response. When you do that, and we
yeah.
always talk about breathing,
Mm.
and then you spoke about checking on the validity of these thoughts and replacing it scientifically and in artistic manner with the right one and the most accurate one.
Yes,
So
Lavi.
yeah, we talk a lot about this, but now actually I'm able to see the logic behind it, all
Yeah.
this, and
Yeah,
which is really
I
good.
I'm a firm believer, Lavi, because what is in our control, what is not in our control. The
Yeah.
situations, the people we meet, or the circumstances what we go through, most of them might not be under our control.
Yes.
What is in our control is how do we react to it. That is
Yes.
fully in our control. At
Yeah,
least
events are not in our control. Response to the events is in our control for sure.
yes, yes, Ravi.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
but if we start consciously responding to it, right, I think we can
yeah.
minimize a lot of damage to our own selves and even to
Yes.
the, others as well.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. This is great stuff. Yeah, absolutely. And also this is circle of influence and circle of concern. There are a
Yes.
lot of things in your concern, but what
Mm.
what and all is in your influence? And when we work on circle of influence, automatically circle of concern reduces and influence expands. Right. So yeah. So that's great. So what would be the next step, though, Savita? We spoke in short about a lot of things,
Mm.
but then how does someone go ahead with this journey, or anything else you want to say to close?
Okay, I am on their, all the social media platforms, Lavi, and I would leave my handles here down as well. So I'm there on LinkedIn, YouTube and Facebook and Insta, and as well as Substack, and as well as on Twitter. Okay, so
Yeah.
you could kind of follow me. That's where I share a lot of cognitive fitness related, kind of insights there, and as well as those are the practical things. I don't really teach any theory, Lavi, because what has really worked for me, that's what that I kind of teach, coach, and train people. So you could
Mhm.
also look out for my upcoming webinar. So there, I know that's where that I kind of you're not just gonna learn the thing, you're gonna practice it and implement it to see the benefits for yourself. Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah.
Yeah, this was a great conversation, Savita, and everyone listening to this, go ahead and rationalize your automatic negative thoughts by asking yourself those 5 simple questions. Focus on your breathing and see if you can create that gap between your stimulus and response, so that you are powerful. So, okay, thank you all.
Thank you
Bye.
so much, Lavi, for having me on your conversation. I totally kind of loved this the entire topic because it is affecting many of us on a day-to-day basis. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thanks.
so much, Lavi.
Bye.